Welcome to another episode of. You're not supposed to be eating it while we're recording.
Oh,
welcome
because we haven't done it yet.
To another episode of Cook Wild, our monthly special on the Bear Archery podcast. And this month, my boy Foodie Mike Castaneda, has made an incredible venison lasagna. So good that he's trying to eat it while we're doing the intro. We're going to teach you how to make it right here. So stay tuned in this episode. And this series is brought to you by our good friends over at Camp Chef.
With over 90 years of innovation, Bear Archery continues pushing toward the goal of founder Fred Bear, making archery accessible for all. Fred believed the history of the bow and arrow were the history of mankind, and everyone should immerse themselves in the outdoor experience. Welcome to the Bear Archery Podcast, where the mission is simple: to hunt, grow, and inspire others.
Guys, it is not often that a product comes around that is just a game changer. I introduce you to the paper tuner from papertuner.com. This is a game-changing paper tuner design that is designed from the ceiling down to help you tune your compound, your recurve, your longbows. Best news of all, it's going to take up zero floor space, and it only costs $75. This is engineered so it's easy to use, very quick to set up and take down with magnetic quick disconnects. It takes you a couple seconds to hang it up, to shoot through your paper, and then take it back down and hang it back on the wall, taking up zero room in your garage, your shop, your basement, wherever you're tuning bows. There's no bulky equipment. It's easy to use. It's fast to use. It's going to cost you $75, and everything that you need to hang it and use it is going to be in one box. It took me about 5 minutes to hang this initially, and then it takes a couple seconds to put it up and take it down anytime I want to shoot through paper. Guys, if you do any kind of work on your bows, or if you just want to ensure that your bows are shooting as good as they possibly can, I would highly, highly encourage you to get a paper tuner from papertuner.com. It's the best design I have ever seen for a paper tuner, so I would highly encourage you, papertuner.com. Go pick one up. Very easy to set up, very easy to use, zero floor space, very quick, very effective. And one of the coolest parts, in my opinion, all around the frame of the paper tuner, it's got what you need to see to know how to move your rest or how to tune your bow in order to take out the tears that you are getting. Guys, go check out papertuner.com. It's a phenomenal design. It's going to change the way you paper tune your bows. Papertuner.com. Get yourself a paper tuner.
All right, Mr. Foodie Mike C,
Yes.
You have crushed it once again on some venison lasagna.
Yep.
As
they say in honk.
Made me want to just go on a date, like on a candlelight dinner with my wife. So I said on the video, this is going to be something, dudes. If you tell your wife, if you say, hey, honey, I've got a date night planned for you, I'm going to cook for you, and you make this,
Easy.
So easy to make, delicious, super like fancy looking, it's going to make your wife think that you spent a whole lot of time and effort making her dinner, and it really just took you a few minutes. So venison lasagna, how do you do it?
So we actually had some venison that had a little bit of bacon in it, and that is going to add to your flavor. It's going to have a little bit of fat, so it's not going to be dry. So while you have some,
keep talking, I'm just gonna...
Yeah, you go ahead. You just do what you do. I had some pasta boiling, just the sheets of pasta, nice and easy. We had our meat cooking at the same time, just got it smashed down. I had some ricotta cheese. I had some mozzarella. You'll see San Marzano tomatoes. Obviously, you can use regular tomatoes. You can use crushed tomatoes.
Now, what's the difference?
So San Marzano are really good tomatoes from Italy that I just happened to have and decided to use.
Like you went to Italy to get them?
Yeah, I just went and grabbed them myself.
Nice.
But no, I like making pizza all the time, so I bought some 00 flour and San Marzano tomatoes. But like I said, you don't have to do that. You can just get a can of crushed tomatoes or whatever you want to use and make it easy on yourself. I did add some pesto to it as well to give it some more flavor.
Yeah, you did.
And it is fantastic. But literally, you're cooking your pasta, you're cooking down your meat, and then you're just assembling. There's really not a whole lot to it. by the time you have your pizza oven hot and ready, obviously you can use a regular oven. You can use your smoker.
You can use a regular oven if you're a buster.
Yeah, you definitely want some extra flavor. But if you're using your smoker, set it to about 400 degrees and throw it on there and allow this to bake. It's going to get that wood fire flavor as well, which is obviously fantastic. Really not a whole lot to it. This thing was in there maybe, 5 minutes, 7 minutes? And look at the beautiful color. The texture is amazing. Flavor is amazing. Again, you would never know that it's venison.
Total cook time on this mug. Like total. I mean, from start to finish. I don't even know if you can really see that. Total cook time, start to finish. We're talking like 15 minutes.
15, yeah. Super easy. And this literally is just a little bit of it. We have probably another 4 of these that we could have made.
Yeah.
So obviously you can make a big 9x13 or something like that.
Yeah.
And, feed an army with,
family night, double date night, make a single one for your wife and you.
Yeah.
Perfect, dude.
Super easy, fast,
super easy,
delicious. Get it.
And what I like about it is not a ton of like variations. Can't mess it up. Like, there's some of these recipes we make and there's just tons of seasoning that goes into it. And I'm bound to mess it up. You can't mess this up.
No.
You literally can't. So
this was super minimal and just fantastic.
Yeah. Guys, you absolutely have to give it a shot. The Venison Lasagna. It's phenomenal. Good job as always.
Thanks, dog.
I'm going to take this home to my wife, tell her I made it.
Okay.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Give this a shot. Your next date night. I'm going to and hey, marriage tip. Make this for your wife. Like I'm telling you, it'll be worth it.
It is.
Let's go back real quick before we wrap it up. So what Mike was saying, we had some venison with lasagna. A few, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 pounds of each deer I kill, I like to ground with bacon. So I just grind it with the bacon. And that's going to be really good for burgers. Things like your smoked meatloaf. It's just going to add a good amount of fat to that venison. So I use that for burgers a lot. But why did you choose it for this? Because you don't normally have bacon in lasagna. So why did you choose to have the bacon venison for this?
I just know that you're going to get some of like the meat texture in there, and I didn't want it to be dry, like you're biting into like dry ground meat. So I knew if you wanted to get some of that meat, that you didn't want it to be like just this crumbly, dry bit to it.
So if they don't have ground venison that has bacon in it, what can they do to
cook it with some olive oil? Olive oil would be great because you're already kind of in that.
So just brown it with the olive oil.
Yep. And then maybe add a little bit of pesto to it as well, maybe which we did actually. We were going to put that in the podcast recipe, but we added a little pesto to the meat as we're cooking it. So add some olive oil instead, a little bit of pesto, and essentially just replicating what we're doing anyway.
You'll be proud of me, bud. That our place, Liberty Ranch here in Oklahoma. In downtown, there's a place called the olive oil tasting bar.
Okay.
And there's like hundreds of olive oils.
That sounds fantastic.
And you can get all these fancy, there's like hundreds of flavors. I didn't like the espresso one though. I definitely did not buy that one.
That sounds
but I bought like cilantro lime olive oil. Ooh. I bought jalapeno lime olive oil. I bought quite a few. They're really good.
Well, now I got to go check this out.
Yeah, go to Pawhuska. Try out the olive oil tasting bar. I don't know what it's called, but can't miss it.
Guys, I am a big believer in custom-built aftermarket strings. Basically, the moment I pull my bow out of the box, whether it's a new compound, a new recurve, a new longbow, I'm going to be putting a custom-built aftermarket string on that bow. At Dominant Strands, they're going to be using high-quality fibers from BCY, like a low-wax 452X. The low-wax content and the special way that they pre-stress and pre-stretch those strings and cables make for a very, very stable set of strings. They're going to last longer and they're going to shoot better. There's going to be very little peep rotation. There's going to be very little stretch over time. You are going to be a lot happier in the long term. You're just going to have a lot better shooting experience when you upgrade those strings to an aftermarket custom-built set of strings. Plus, you can customize them any way you want. Now, I'm also a huge believer in custom-built strings for a longbow or recurve. Why? Because coming from the factory, they're not going to be using the highest quality materials. They're not going to be pre-stretching those strings over long periods of time. Whereas, again, if I call up Dominant Strands, they're going to build the best set of strings for that bow. I'm going to walk them through what I want out of that string, what I want out of that bow, and they're going to build a set of strings exactly to spec out of the best materials for that bow. Guys, a custom set, the best string you could ever buy for your recurve or longbow, is going to cost you about $30. That is the most bang for your buck that you can get when upgrading your longbow or recurve. You're going to get an incredible shooting experience upgrade for just $30. So I encourage everybody, the moment that recurve or longbow comes out of the box, upgrade it to a custom built string. Guys, the people over at Dominant Strands, they are unmatched when it comes to their customer service. You're going to call them up. You're going to talk to your string builder, the guy that's going to be building your strings. He's going to ask you what you're looking to get out of the bow. He's going to ask you about your bow. He's going to ask you about your nocks. He's going to ask you everything about your bow setup so he can build you the best set of strings for your bow. Guys, I would highly encourage everybody, no matter the bow, no matter the manufacturer, to consider upgrading your strings to a nice set of custom built aftermarket strings. My boys over at Dominant Strands, they do it, and they do it very, very well. Their turnaround time is incredible. Their attention to detail is unmatched. Guys, give them a call for your next set of strings, and I promise you, you will be happy.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. Make a venison lasagna, or out of any meat you've got. If you've got elk, moose, all of those things are going to be really, really good in here. So make a venison lasagna. You will be impressed. Your whole family's going to like it. Kids are going to love it. The first thing I thought about was my kids would absolutely just devour this. So guys, try the venison lasagna. Thanks for listening. Y'all have a fantastic week.